In section 4.5, we're going to be writing equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. Before we do that, let's just recap some of the equations that'll be important here. Our slope formula is our y2 minus y1 over our x2 minus x1. We also call our slope our rise over run, so how many you count up or down, and then over. Point slope form of an equation is y minus y1 equals your slope times x minus x1. And finally, slope intercept form of an equation is y equals mx plus b, m being your slope, b being your y-intercept. Another thing that we're finally going to kind of talk about now is horizontal and vertical lines. The equation of a horizontal line is y equals some constant number. The slope of a horizontal line is always 0. For example, let's say we had the line y equals -5. What that would look like is a flat horizontal line going through 0, -5. If we want to think about this in terms of point slope form, it kind of makes sense. Because if I plugged it in, I have y equals my slope of 0x minus 5. 0 times anything is just 0, giving us that equation y equals -5. On the other hand, a vertical line is x equals some constant number. The slope of a vertical line is always undefined, and the reason that is because we're basically doing like a rise of how many we're counting up divided by 0 because we're not going over any. You can't divide by 0, which gives you undefined. Sometimes undefined is shortened by just capital UND. For example, if we had the equation x equals 3, it would be a straight line going up, going through the point 3, 0. Another thing to keep in mind, horizontal and vertical lines are always perpendicular to one another. And we're going to look at two example problems here. What is the equation of a line parallel to y equals 5/2 x minus 6 that goes through the point 10, 1? So all that I care about in that first equation is the slope. The slope of my new line is going to still be 5/2 because I want a parallel line. Parallel lines have the same slope. I also have a point now, so I can make my equation in point slope form. Do y minus my y coordinate equals the slope I want to use times x minus my x coordinate. And if they just ask for a general equation, I could be done here because this is a totally fine equation for the line. If I ask you to put it in slope-intercept form, what I would do from here is distribute, add the 1 to both sides, get the y by itself, and now I'd be done. In example number 2, what's the equation of a line perpendicular to 2x plus y equals 4 and goes through 0, -4 in slope-intercept form? So, in this equation, I kind of need to maneuver this equation around a little bit to find my slope. Right now I'm in standard form, I want to be in slope-intercept form. All I got to do is subtract the 2x on both sides. I see that my slope is -2, so the perpendicular slope would be +1/2. I also have a point of 0, -4, so I can go from there writing in point slope form. To kind of simplify this a little bit, y minus -4 will turn into +4, and x minus 0 is just x. Last step here would be to subtract 4 on both sides, so my equation would be y equals 1/2 x minus 4.